UFC 272 happened over March 5th, and it wasn't anything less than a roller coaster. With ugly punches, knockdowns, and early finishes, the event had audiences on the edge of their seats. And like any other UFC event, this one did not come without controversy. Believe it or not, one of the contenders openly cheated during the fight. Who is he? And what did he have to say? Join us as we talk about UFC flyweight Tim Elliott shockingly admitted to cheating during the fight. So what happened? In the early prelims of UFC 272, Tim Elliott was up against Tagir. The fight was heavily tipped in the American fighter's favor. He took the lead in the first round with a jaw-dropping knockdown and kept up the barrage of punches and kicks going into the second round. The 35-year-old barely gave his rival any time to breathe as he had him confused with fake elbow strikes and whatnot. In the end, Elliott won the fight by unanimous decision. With this win, Elliott was able to snag a place in the winners column. He's at number 11 on the UFC flyweight rankings and will now be fighting one of the fighters from the top 10. As for Ulanbekov, he's icing the second loss of his career and remains at number 5 on the flyweight rankings. However, instead of celebrating Elliott's win, the internet as well as the fighting community seems more or less infuriated with him. It seems like Elliott did not earn the win with his sweat and tears, but rather some below-the-belt moves. During his fight, fans as well as Tagir's coach Khabib Nurmagomedov clearly saw Tim grab Tagir's glove in addition to poking his eyes and landing a knee stroke when he was on the ground. Tim did this not once, but multiple times during the fight. He landed 2 knees and grabbed the opponent's glove several times. Coach Khabib was clearly outraged by Tim's foul play since we could see him screaming at the referee, prompting him to put an end to the fight, but to no avail. He also slammed his hand on the canvas as he watched the ordeal. FYI, these are all illegal moves. However, Elliott only received a warning from the referee, and that too during one instance of glove grabbing. What did Elliott have to say for himself? With so many accusations stacked up against him, you'd expect Elliott to apologize. But no. The MMA fighter openly admitted to cheating during the fight as he sat down for an interview on the podcast We Got Next. When broached about the subject, he said that at the end of the day, if Tagir would have beaten him, no one would have said anything about the glove grab or raised their voice about the cheating. In his view, people are only upset because their team lost and now they look bad. If they'd won, they would have kept quiet about the whole thing. He justified his motives by saying that in a fight, his sole purpose is to win. If he's doing something wrong, it's a referee's job to step in. During his fight with Tagir, the referee told him to let go of the glove, and he did. He further added that he doesn't really care about the people going on and on about the morality of the sport and the warrior spirit. He's not a martial artist, he's a fighter. He's in the ring to make money, and that's exactly what he did. Elliott's views align with most of the fighters in the UFC who are concerned with making money much more than they are about putting up with a fair fight. He also said that stuff like this happened all the time. During a sparring match that day, Elliott got his hand grabbed, his head butted, and his eyes poked, which, as he described, is all normal and part of the game. The case of Tim's open cheating case brings the integrity of the MMA referees into question. It seems like fighters are more than willing to take advantage of the fact that referees will rarely step in when they break the rules. Will we see a change of rules following this incident? Only time will tell. What do the big bosses think? According to the Glory MMA fighter, the top brass doesn't care. Dana White, for one, doesn't care, and Mick Maynard doesn't either. Tim said that he's on good terms with these guys. They certainly had no problem with Tim cheating at UFC 272 because they cut his checks without batting an eye. Coach Khabib Nurmagomedov was not happy for one. He was handed his second loss as a coach, so he certainly wasn't going to keep quiet. He took to his Instagram story to express his disapproval as he posted a video of the incident and captioned it, "Referee was sleeping." Khabib's protege, Islam Makhachev, also joined in on the conversation as he shared the clip of Elliott where he flat out admitted to cheating. He pointed out several incidents during the fight and even went on as far as to label Tim a dirty fighter. In the Instagram post, Makhachev listed all of Tim's offenses. Later, referee Chris Tognoni did step in as well, but he only talked about the eye poke and neglected the rest of his many offenses. Is the UFC going to take notice of Elliott's fouls? Or are they going to charge him? We're going to have to wait to find out. Now that we've discussed Tim's cheating case, let's dig into other UFC news. Next, Chris Daukaus gives thoughts about Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez is under investigation after being involved in a shooting case back in late February. He opened fire fire on a truck after an 11-mile high-speed chase. According to Cain, he fired on the man after he allegedly molested one of his relatives. Since the incident, many of the MMA community have rallied behind him. They even trended #FreeCain on Twitter, as they deemed his motives justified. However, ex-cop turned UFC contender Chris Daukaus has other opinions on the matter. Chris sat down for an interview with SureDog recently, where he expressed his opinions on the subject. He said that as a father and as a fighter, he's okay with what Cain did. It's unfortunate that he ended up shooting the wrong man, but his emotions make a lot of sense. The number 9 ranked UFC contender said that he completely understands where the 2-time UFC heavyweight champion is coming from, but as a former law enforcement officer, he can see why Cain needed to be locked up. For those of you who don't know, Daukaus served as a member of the Philadelphia Police from 2010 to 2021. We'll have to see how it turns out depending on whether it was a crime of passion or whether he planned revenge. Overall, Daukaus has immense respect for the former UFC contender, but since he broke the law, he needed to be locked up. There's morality here that needs to be addressed. It would be messed up if the guy who did that to Cain walked away scot-free. The case is underway, and Velasquez was recently denied bail. Up next, UFC Jorge Masvidal faces felony battery charge. Covington and Masvidal have faced off in the ring one too many times, with the latest being at UFC 272 on March 5th, where Covington ended up winning by unanimous decision. It seems like the fight continued outside the ring for the fighters. Apparently, these two got into an altercation outside of a Miami Beach restaurant. The fight happened late Monday night, following which Masvidal was charged with felony battery charges. According to the Miami Beach police report, the other person involved invoked the right under Marcy's law, so their identity remains hidden, but the report did reveal that he lost teeth. The TMZ video revealed it all, where Masvidal was clearly seen yelling, "Don't talk about my kids," as he held back an equally angry Covington. The 34-year-old could also be heard saying, "He's over here swinging, trying to come at me, and I ran out the back of the room." He then turned to podcast host Bob Maneri and asked, "How would he even know I'm here?" Well, Maneri might have had something to do with it, as earlier during the day, he shared Covington's location at Pappy's Steak and called him the King of MFing Miami. Masvidal then jumped in and tweeted, calling this show your face challenge, you know? What's up? I'm from Dade County. You talk that shit. You got it to back it up. That's how my city rolls, man. Maneri later tweeted that he's extremely disappointed with how Masvidal handled the ongoing beef. Are these two going to calm down anytime soon? We're gonna have to watch and see. Lastly, Conor McGregor has had enough. It seems like the Irish fighter has had enough and is ready to return to the ring following his recovery from a leg fracture. He apparently wants a swing at the UFC welterweight title. Consequently, he's going around demanding a bout with Kamaru Usman. However, the 2 consecutive defeats from Dustin Poirier and one from Khabib Nurmagomedov, many think that the 33-year-old is overreaching here. McGregor's obviously not taking those comments well. He deems them disrespectful of his skill, and he's damn near had it with that. He says that people are going to give him the respect that he deserves, and he will make a waltz back into a title shot. He's certainly got our attention now. What do you think of the American flyweight fighter cheating? Do you think the UFC bosses ought to do something about it? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Make sure to give us a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos. Bye now.